So this is applicable for massive cuff tears. We have problem retraction, delamination, difficulty in obtaining a tensionless repair, and there is also this risk of re-tear. So we have seen this single row, double row, suture bridge, speed bridge, but there is also some triple row modification which has been there for the last 15 years, but I'll just touch base on those topics. The most important thing is two things in cuff repair. Number one, a robust mechanical repair. And number two, we are talking about augmentation. All these to reduce our re-tear rate and also improve the function. So some reports of triple row originally described by Roger Ostrander and Jimmy Andrews, where additional middle row anchor was inserted to make sure that lateral flap is sitting on the GT, basically get more compression and avoid dog ear. Because for example, you cannot dictate a double row repair for a wide, massive cuff tear because there will be a lot of dog ears. But there are other techniques to close the dog ear as well, so it's not very popular. Again, another modification where you see crisscross sutures of a 3-level anchor repair, but obviously more number of anchors are being used. And this is the star repair. Again, report of linked middle row, medial row to the lateral row. So these are all the some modified repair technique available in the literature. But definitively, as you see, the single, double compared triple, you have more mechanical compression and as well as strength in the construct repair. So let's see a case example. A 60-year-old lady, homemaker, right-handed. She had a fall 3 months ago. She had some ongoing shoulder pain before that. This is something to be remember. Not all are traumatic tear. There might be some degenerative element and the patient has the tear on the top of it. And she has severe disturbance with day-to-day life, disturbance of sleep, etc. Clinically presenting with painful pseudoparalysis, flexion abduction of about 50 degrees. Tests are positive for supra, infra, as well as bear hug test. So that's his MRI findings. You could see the representative slice, avoid retracted massive tear with a superior migration, and you could also see some upper subscap weakness or tear on the MRI. So lateral decubitus and overhead traction, standard portals were made. And this is the sequence of repair. First, a diagnostic arthroscopy. You could see the articular side cuff tear, attrition rupture of the long head of biceps already. And you go through the rest of the joint, looks reasonably good. And if you follow that, there is an upper subscap tear. You see that. So my sequence of repair here is I have decided to do a long head of biceps stenotomy with a tear. I decided to do that. And then did an in situ repair of the upper subscapularis with a double loaded anchor. So this is important. If you find subscapularis, that has to be repaired to get the coronal force balance. And this is the cuff tear. When you look at from the bursal side, you see a delaminated massive tear, and you could see the delaminated layer separately. And the superficial bursal layer is there are two U's, one U laterally as well as one split longitudinally. So this is a complex massive tear involving supra-infra with delamination. So a standard technique might not be useful, or you need to resect that bar of tissue and then repair it. That is also a problem. So here I decided to do the medial row anchor, which is very medial to the articular margin, and then put a traction suture on the delaminated layer to pull it, and then take the apical sutures, medial aspect of the cuff. As you see, this is the traction sutures for the delaminated layer. You pull it gently and you go from a suture passer from nevia subportal and take the bite of the medial row anchor, 4 sutures all at the apex. So that is to repair the 2 layers together. A separate suture to close the anteroposterior defect on the infra, and then I decide to do the second anchor, which is on the GT. So this is the all suture anchor gone in there, and with this I decided to do the anteroposterior closure of the rest of the cuff, which is the infra as well as supra. You can use whatever suture device to do that. And once you do that, you subsequently tie all the sutures. You keep the flap reduced on the GT and repair using the second anchor, AP closure sutures. So this way, your medial tear is closed, your lateral tear is closed. The bridge of tissue is also retained there over a prepared GT. So once all the sutures are tied, I take one suture limb of 5 of these set of sutures and take it to the lateral row, which is now here third row level of anchor. So 5 sutures are taken here and secured to the lateral row. So this way you have completed the repair with a crisscross Allen Mason type of configuration, sutures going transversely and apical sutures coming anteroposteriorly rather than coming only one direction. So that's the clinical outcome. We mobilized day after surgery, allow early mobilization of the shoulder. This allows it, no sling, and she has got no pain and reasonably full range of movement at 3 months follow-up. So just a case report to highlight that some modification of cuff repair technique can help to repair a massive retracted, delaminated massive cuff tear. This provides a robust repair including the delaminated layer and offers you tensionless fixation and maximum footprint coverage, thereby allowing early mobilization and good functional recovery. But this is only indicated for a massive cuff. For a routine cuff tear, you don't need to adopt this. Thank you.